Tidbits from TNT, Monday, July 7, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. Tishwash. Kurdistan region agrees to hand over oil to Baghdad, final agreement expected within 24 hours. An informed source reported on Sunday, July 6, 2025, that the Kurdistan region informed the federal government of its official approval to deliver its oil to Baghdad, as part of the joint oil agreement. The source confirmed in a statement to Baghdad today that the regional government's response has already reached Baghdad and includes full approval for the delivery of oil according to the mechanisms discussed during previous meetings, noting that the federal government's response will be sent to the region Monday. The source added, the two sides are close to finalizing the final version of the full agreement. Tishwash. A delegation from the Kurdistan region arrives in Baghdad to discuss a draft oil export agreement. An informed source reported that a delegation from the Kurdistan region has arrived in Baghdad to complete discussions on the draft oil export agreement between the two governments. According to the source, a delegation from the Kurdistan regional government arrived in Baghdad on Monday to discuss a draft agreement on oil exports with Iraqi officials. The delegation includes Kamal Mohammed, Acting Minister of Natural Resources, Amanj Rahim, Secretary of the Cabinet, and Abdul Hakim Khosrow, Head of the Coordination and Follow-up Office. This visit comes as Baghdad prepares a draft of the aforementioned agreement, awaiting Erbil's response. Erbil is expected to submit its official response to Baghdad today. Tishwash. Al-Bajari. The new legislative session will witness the approval of important laws. Representative Zahra al-Bajari called on the parliament speaker and political forces on Sunday to move forward in activating the file of interrogating officials, especially interrogations that have met their constitutional requirements. Al-Bajari confirmed in a statement to the Al-Maluma agency that the parliament will resume its sessions in the coming few days with the start of the new legislative term, noting that most political forces are keen to make this legislative term effective by approving important laws that directly affect the lives of citizens. She stressed the necessity of activating the file of interrogations that meet the constitutional requirements, with the aim of strengthening the parliament's oversight role and holding negligent parties accountable. It is noteworthy that the parliament will resume its regular sessions in the coming days after the end of its legislative term, amid calls to intensify the holding of sessions and work to approve important laws. Tishwash. The era of cash is over. Iraq accelerates its steps towards electronic payments amid fears of hacking. The Iraqi government is accelerating its efforts to end cash transactions within official institutions, as part of a national plan to establish an electronic payment system. This comes amid technical and economic challenges, and fears of potential disruption resulting from weak infrastructure and a lack of adequate preparation. The government announced a package of measures requiring the use of electronic cards in all official institutions, whether for paying fees or receiving dues, as part of a plan to restructure the national economy and reduce reliance on cash. Restructuring the banking sector. Last week, Prime Minister's advisor, Salah Salman, said that the government had contracted with Ernst & Young to restructure 6 to 7 state-owned banks, including Rafadain, Rashid, Industrial, and Real Estate. He indicated that Rafadain Bank will be transformed into Rafadain First Bank, with the state's share reduced to less than 24%, while the remaining shares will be offered to investors and private banks. He explained that the number of point-of-sale (POS) devices in the country ranges between 60,000 and 70,000, while the number of registered bank accounts amounts to approximately 22 to 23 million. However, these figures do not necessarily mean that all account holders have functional bank cards. Unofficial estimates indicate that approximately 65% of the population remains outside the electronic payment system due to the unavailability of cards, lack of confidence in the technical infrastructure, or frequent internet outages. For his part, Moeen al-Kadhimi, a member of the Finance Committee in the House of Representatives, emphasized the importance of switching to an electronic payment system as a strategic step to eliminate excessive reliance on cash, noting that this culture has become prevalent globally, and Iraq must catch up. Al-Kadhimi added in a statement to Al-Mada that approximately 7 million employees and retirees, in addition to 3 million social welfare recipients, received their benefits via electronic payment cards, which reinforces the need to expand and develop this service in a thoughtful manner. He pointed out that the technical infrastructure in Iraq is still incomplete, calling for its rapid development. Especially with the notable progress made by Rashid Bank and the importance of supporting Rafidain Bank with young cadres specialized in programming and information technology. Cyberattacks and community concerns. On the other hand, observers have warned that imposing electronic payments could increase citizen suffering, especially in areas lacking technical infrastructure or among individuals who do not have bank accounts. Experts have recommended adopting a gradual approach that takes vulnerable groups into account. This shift coincided with increasing complaints on social media about some users' accounts being hacked or debited without their knowledge, amid accusations of weak cybersecurity in some banking applications. Experts warn that rushing to generalize electronic payments without addressing security vulnerabilities could undermine public confidence in the banking system, given the lack of adequate awareness of safe usage mechanisms. Indications of a real transformation. In the same context, economic expert Mustafa Hantoush stated that Iraq has made significant strides in the transition to electronic payments, noting that the period between June 1, 2023, and July 1, 2025, represents a pivotal point in integrating this system into the state. Hantoush told Al-Mada that the value of electronic purchases amounted to more than 298 billion Iraqi dinars, reflecting a real shift in consumer culture. He explained that the technical infrastructure is now well prepared, but it still needs to develop electronic payment companies and expand the acceptance of international cards, which would enhance Iraq's ability to enter an integrated digital economy. He concluded by saying, "We aspire to reach an electronic purchasing power exceeding 300 trillion dinars. And if we succeed in reaching 100 trillion as a first stage, it will be an achievement that establishes a modern financial culture in the country." Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com